All right, here is yesterday and today's project. We're going to remove these columns. We've already got two others on the other side removed, but you can see they're rotted out pretty good. It's in bad shape. The people that own this house are trying to get it sold, so they're just trying to do a few maintenance items. Going back, these posts, it says they are 6 by 8, but the actual size is 5 1/4. What we ran into over here is that this section is too narrow to go back in. I don't even know where it's at. Oh, right here. So these posts are right at 7 inches, and we're going down to 5 1/4, so we can't line everything up like we need to. So we're gonna have to figure something out right there. Let's see what else. Another thing we ran into with these posts being a little more narrow, they're hanging over a little bit. That's only, I don't know, 1/2 inch, 3/4 of an inch. But it was either let it hang over here or let it hang over here. And it's almost sitting flush at the top, so just gonna have to let it hang over a little bit. I don't think it's a problem. That one's hanging over a little more. It might even actually need to go back in, but you know, these are structural load-bearing columns. One column would probably be enough. So I'm gonna say that 2 of them is more than enough for that corner, even with just a pinch hanging over. We had a rail right here. We took it down because once this post again, it's not the right size. It was throwing it off, so we're just gonna move that rail back, line it up with the first column. These are partially supported at the top or secured with some screws. We'll finish that up. Had to go get some Tapcon bolts to put in the bottom, and then when we get done, it's got some pieces that you trim it out with. It's not a bad project. Just jack up the sides with the 4x4 here to support the ceiling. When you pull those out and then get the new ones in, set them back down. I don't know that I'm gonna set the camera up and do that because it'll be a long drug out process. I'll just kind of come in and out and show you the progress. What I'm gonna do right now, yesterday Connor went ahead and got the bolts out of this all the way around, so I think, yeah, paint's just got it. So now it's just time for me to get the jack put in place to support the ceiling, and I can go ahead and knock those out because they're not, the other ones were not supported at the bottom or secured at the bottom. So jack it up, start knocking the tops out, and there's a few nails holding it in at the top. That's it, basically just a weight holding it in place, and the handrails, I guess. So I'll do that. This one over here, we were able to get the jack directly. We were to get the jack here and get it directly below this beam. Now down here, I'm really not going to be able to do that, I don't think. I'll just get as close up in there as I can. Maybe I can roll the jack up under. But anyway, that's where I'm at. All right, real quick, I went ahead and put the jack in place. You know, I just cut this 4x4 about 1/2 inch shorter than I needed, just so I'd have enough room to get it in there. But I just raised this enough where I could hear hear a little cracking and popping, just a little bit. And you can see these posts, there ain't nothing holding them in there. They're ready to come out already. So I'll just pull those out. Bird's nest. Okay, nothing to it. Took about 2 seconds to get those out. Took long to unbolt the handrails and to get them out. So now I'm just gonna go back with mine. Okay, quick update. Got these 2 posts obviously cut and put in. All we did was, again, jacked up the roof with that floor jack and a 4x4. Got to make sure when you're getting these measurements, you know, I didn't raise this roof much, just, I mean, probably a ½ an inch, if that. But you got to make sure when you measure, if I were to measure from here to here with that jack in place, it's not going to come down at all, and I wanted it to come back down. So I kind of put a level up here just to see how much it was out of level. This measurement was like 89 and I think 3/4. So I cut it, I think I cut it like 89, maybe 3/8, something like that. I think we might have cut 89 3/4, and then it wouldn't quite fit. It was almost, it was a little too tall, so we cut it basically the thickness of the blade of the circular saw short. That makes sense. So that way when I put them in, they were a little loose. When we put them in, they were a little loose, and then we released the jack, it set down on them, and they were in there solid before we ever even put screws in. But I do have some screws in here in the sides. I'm gonna end up going all the way around, and then again we're gonna trim this out. On the bottom, I think it's 3/4 inch Tapcon, but they're in here. There's only 2 spots in the so this part here is plastic, so that the wooden post won't rot, but they're screwed in with Tapcons around it. Let's see, this is what I ended up using, 3/16 Tapcon, 1 3/4 long. Of course I had to get a bit for it, but they're screwed in around the post to secure it at the bottom. They were already in there pretty solid. And also you want to make sure that the post is plumb before you finish screwing it in, because you might need to tap it around. So what I have left to do now is I'm going to trim out the top and bottom, but as you can see, this won't quite reach, so I may end up putting, depending on how thick that is, I may end up putting a 2x4 block in there, and it'll get painted white and blend in. And then I bought, like I was saying, the ornamental rails that are going to fit in here, so I got to get that in. Then I got to get this rail put back in. Connor's in the backyard working on something. I'll check in on him in a minute. He's there's a little well house in the back that had some rotten wood on it. He's working on that, and he put these shutters in this morning. He had that done before I ever even got here. So far so good. It is 11:55. I got here I think 9:30. I had a little electrical job to do this morning. Connor got here at 8, so we're moving right along. We'll see how much longer we'll be here. I'd say at least, I don't know, another 2 or 3 hours, which will be fine. All right, last time for check-in, checking out. Everything's done. Poster in, the trim pieces are on, and the customer's going to paint this stuff. They're going to paint the handrails, and these posts will need to be painted. I had to come in here with a 2x4 because this rail wouldn't reach. This rail is about 1.5 inches shorter than this rail. The previous column got bigger at the bottom, is why that is. But anyway, that's in, that block is in there for that, and then it's trimmed out. Same thing over here. Got the ornamental iron pieces in, that worked out good. Got these bolted in. We had to set this rail back some just to get it in the center of this post, so we can see where we moved it back. Had to move this. I don't know if you saw that I did that yet, did you, Connor? Move that rail back. That's what it looks like from out here. And that's it. that's all for the porch columns. I didn't end up putting I meant to hold my watch up and see how long it was, but it was about 3 o'clock or so when we got done, so that's not bad. Getting those columns done, that ornamental iron. I was gonna build a wood frame in that corner because I thought they were gonna paint those rails white, and I knew that the ornamental only comes in black. But when he said that they were gonna paint it black, I suggested we do the ornamental rails right there. So that turned out really good. The top of the ornamental rails was right at the top of the existing true iron rails, but the bottom was about that much higher. So you couldn't see that with the bushes and everything else, and I think that was the best fix for that job. So 4 columns, the 2 corners of the ornamental iron, getting everything kind of situated and that stuff trimmed out. I had to put those blocks in there. Now I shot those, the 2x4 blocks. I don't know why I did this, but I shot those in with a nail gun, and I came back the next day to do some concrete cleaning. I noticed those blocks had split, so I pulled those out, got some more blocks cut and pre-drilled the holes for some screws, and then just put them back in there and screwed them in. So should have done that to start with. When I was nailing those, I thought this could split if I'm not careful, and then the next day it will split. Anyway, it's treated wood. It will be painted, and I think that house is good to go now. Should have walked around the back because Connor did that well house with some had to replace outside boards on that. That looked really good, and like I said, those shutters were done. We came back the next day, and I got another video coming of cleaning that concrete surface in the back. That's all for this video. Let's see, the way I'm looking at this, you should have a bell down here. I want you to hit that bell so that every time I put a video out, you'll get it. And the subscribe stuff is going to be right in here somewhere. So I appreciate it. I'll have another video coming out soon.